Join Venus Castleberg as she teleports you to the wonderland of possibilities, where we explore consciousness from the inside out to create a different world, where problems are possibilities and your point of view really does create your reality.
Hello, amazing beings. How are you today? Thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. Did you know that one of my favorite topics to talk about is entities and magic and mysteries and possibilities? Did you know that? It really is. I became a clairvoyant medium kind of overnight. Some of you might know the story. You can watch it on YouTube. It's called The Entity Experiment. But it really was just my story about how I became a clairvoyant medium overnight when I turned 30 years old. We're not going to talk about how long ago that was. But, and I hated it. I resisted it. I didn't want that capacity. I did not want to be able to see entities. I did not want any of that. And that resistance and that fight against was, it was making me miserable. And so fast forward a few years later, I finally was like, okay, I was given this gift for a reason. I'll accept it. And I may still not know exactly what I was gifted that capacity for. Other than I think in a lot of ways, it helped me get to I have a very peaceful countenance around death and the loss of the physical body. Because ultimately, entities are just beings without bodies. And there's a lot of different types of beings. There are beings that once had a body that don't even realize that they don't have a body anymore. So somebody who died and their physical body died and they're like, oh, I didn't know I didn't have a body anymore. So there are those. And there's, just so you know, there's billions of beings of light and entities, and they're all entities. They just all have different jobs or different capacities, we'll even say. So beings of light or light beings are just that. They're just light beings. They're here to be a beacon in a way, a light in the darkness, a reminder of who we truly are. And earth keepers are exactly that. They take care of the earth. I have I have a very big affinity with them all, but with earth keepers in general, because I love the earth. I love the forest. I love the trees. I love the fairies, like literally anything that you've heard of or imagined is probably true. Fairies, gnomes, earth trolls, like all the fantasy shows that you've seen, a lot of that is true. And so people think that they've created this like from their imagination, or it came out of the blue. It actually didn't. It came from their awareness. So anything that you have imagined is probably true. And like when I was a kid, I had an imaginary dragon. What I thought was imaginary at the time was this little miniature dragon that would spin around on my finger. And then later learned that some fairies are changelings and they can change their forms to whatever is receivable. And in my little mind as a little kid, I could receive a little dragon that was my friend. And that dragon is still with me, not in the form of a dragon though, but in a long-standing fairy. You also have team members. There's so many. But the cool thing about team members, just a little side note for you guys, is they're here to support you. They will not interfere. So if you want help with something or you're asking for something in your life, you just have to ask for their help, ask for their contribution to whatever it is that you're asking for, and they will promptly go to work on your behalf and bringing you what it is you desire. Earth keepers tend to be taking care of the earth. They help the flowers grow. They help things die. So when animals die, they help them, transition. So there's just this, but it's cool because it's like, if you think about your body, I'm going to use this as a metaphor, but your body has a godzillion different cells that do different things. So you have cells in your bones that take care of your bones, and you have cells in your heart that take care of your heart, and you have cells that purify your blood. Like but notice how that's all inside your body. The universe, your body is a universe in and of itself. The universe, if you were to think about the universe, has lots of different beings, all doing different things. And beings of light do one thing, earth keepers do one thing, your team members do another thing, and so on and so forth. So there's a place and a time for everything. And anyway, I hope that contributed. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. And if you're ever in doubt, you can just ask your team to show you. If you really want to know your team or know spirits or know about light beings, then just ask. And I was asking for something different when I was 30. I did not know that it would mean I would become a clairvoyant medium. And like I said, it wasn't an easy transition at that time, but I'm super grateful for it now. And yeah, if you'd like to get to know your team, just ask them to show you, and they will, in their own way. And it might be visual, you might be audible, it might be a blurry vision, it might be while you're just sipping your coffee and you feel like suddenly somebody's sitting next to you. However they show up for you is how you can receive them. So trust in that too. You don't have to see them. That's not necessarily your path. They will only give you what you can handle. So you might just have this feeling or this knowing that they're with you. And sometimes it's a tickling. Like I have some of my team will like tickle my shoulder just to let me know they're there. Or smells. That's a good one. Like you might be walking, let's say you're in your office where there's no flowers around and you suddenly smell roses. It's probably either one of your team members, an entity, or it could be somebody in your life that passed over that loved roses or wore rose perfume. So again, they'll show themselves if you ask for it. And if you don't want it, just tell them you don't want to know. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for listening and watching. I look forward to next time. Ciao.